Hi, I'm Kristen. Today I'm going to tell you how you can actually have fewer energy crashes and live more abundantly even while you're living with chronic fatigue. So you have chronic fatigue. Maybe you've even been diagnosed with CFS, or perhaps you just know yourself as a spoonie. Well, the one thing we all have in common are these energy crashes that wipe us out and surprise us every time. In the medical literature, this is known as post-exertional malaise, or PEM for short. Now, this is a defining characteristic of chronic fatigue, where we have these fatigue spells that are vastly out of proportion with the effort that we've just expended. These energy crashes can be some of the hardest symptoms to deal with when you have chronic fatigue. And it's because they're so extreme. We can be laid out for hours or days after overexerting ourselves. Now, we've all been there when we think we're having a good day and we're able to just get on with our lives and do a little bit of work or wash some dishes, and we're just going along great, and then out of nowhere, seemingly, we have a crash. We have to stop everything we're doing to go rest because physically, mentally, we're not really capable of anything else. But there is hope. We can gain control over these crashes, and we can learn to manage our energy better day to day. I recently stumbled across a research paper that actually shows exactly how chronic fatigue patients can better manage their energy and have fewer crashes. I know it sounds like the Holy Grail, and it might even sound like it's not true, but I'm here to tell you that I want to share all of this information with you. And real quick, I want you to know that this isn't some sales pitch. This isn't a bait and switch kind of scam. I am going to give you all of this information that I found completely free. And what's more, I'm also going to give you my own personal experiences using it. And I'm going to tell you how other people who've been living with chronic fatigue have been able to use this to live better lives. I'm going to be holding a webinar where I share all of this information with you. To get on the list, just pop in your name and your email down below, and you'll be the first to know when it airs. Since I started using this tool, a few incredible things have happened. A big one is that I know when I can push myself and when I need to hold back and rest more before it's too late. I can stop myself from crashing because I know that I'm about to overdo it before the crash happens. One of the most profound things is that I now have physical, tangible proof that there is something weird happening inside my body. There's no more wondering, am I just making this up? Is it only in my head? Now I can see when my body is reacting strangely to a normal behavior, such as walking up the stairs. But for me, the biggest benefit, and the biggest benefit I want to share with you guys, is that I now have a greater ability to choose how I spend my energy each day, because I wake up having an idea of how many spoons I have. I know early on if I can do a lot or if I really need to rest today before any energy crashes happen. It is profoundly freeing. All right, so who am I and why am I sharing this information with you? My name is Kristen Jekalak. I am not a doctor. I am not a healer, but I am a chronic fatigue patient. My chronic fatigue story starts about 7 years ago. And I could talk about that entire journey for hours and days, but I'll keep it brief for this. So about 2 years ago, I had a major chronic fatigue relapse. I had to leave my full-time office job. I tried working from home a couple hours a day, but I couldn't even manage to do that. My brain fog was so severe that I couldn't work on a laptop from home for an hour or two a day. I could barely read a book or follow along on a TV show because of it as well. The physical fatigue was profound again. Most days I had difficulty walking across my living room to the bathroom across a flat surface because of the fatigue. I mean, I really just felt like my entire life had been robbed from me again, a second time. Now, I have been very fortunate to have found an amazing doctor who has done a ton of blood work on me in the past 2 years. I mean, really like an almost unbelievable amount of blood work has been done on me. But we found answers and we've been treating what we found. And I'm thrilled to say that I am mostly healed. I feel like I'm about 90% back to healthy. I'm able to work full time again. I have a social life again. I've even been able to start working out again, which is really that last little piece for me. So it's been one heck of a journey though. And what I want to share with you about that journey is that even though I'd initially dealt with chronic fatigue and I'd healed from it once, okay? Like I had gotten my life back. I felt like I was all the way there once already in my life. And then I had this major relapse and everything was taken away from me a second time. But I didn't give up. I didn't stop. I have cultivated this healing mindset of acceptance and abundance. And what it's done is it has allowed me to design a life of wild abundance that I absolutely love. And I want to share that mindset with you all. I know it's hard. I know it's easy to feel like we're never going to get better and there's no hope, and to focus on the limitations in our life, okay? And I know that because I've been there. I've been in that place where I wondered if this was it, if this was really the rest of my life. I want you to know that you can cultivate that acceptance mindset, that abundance mindset as well, all right? And if you want to stick around, if you want to keep getting emails from me, I want to share so much of that with you, all right? However, that aside, today's focus is all about this research that I found and this tool that I found that we can use to help manage our energy better and to have fewer crashes. So I'm actually wearing this thing right now, and I'm not going to spill all the beans on what this is quite yet. I'm actually going to be hosting a webinar where I'm going to give you all the information you need about how to use this tool to start having fewer energy crashes on a daily basis, okay? On the webinar, I am going to give you like the exact research paper that I found, a link to it. I'm going to give you a plan on how to start implementing this in your life right away. The plan isn't in the research paper, that's something I'm giving you. I'm going to be sharing with you my experience using this. Now, admittedly, because of how much I've healed, this doesn't help me as much as it does other people who are still more severely ill, okay? However, like I shared earlier, it has still opened my eyes and been a really profound positive experience for me, okay? I'm also going to share with you the experience of numerous other Spoonies who are more severely ill, who are using this every day to help manage their energy, to help understand their bodies better, and to help reduce the number of crashes that they have, okay? So you guys are going to get all of this information in the webinar in one go. In addition, I'm going to have a Q&A session at the end so that any of your questions that you have, all the questions you have, will be answered before the webinar ends. And then as soon as that webinar is over, you are ready to start using this tool to improve your life. Now, there's a reason that I'm waiting for the webinar to share all this information with you. And that's because I don't want you to go it alone. I know what it's like to get a little piece of information that's helpful, and then you want to start using that right away in your life. But there's a ton of trial and error, and there's a lot of time. And there are times when we try something and we make mistakes, and we end up hurting ourselves a little bit in the long run. So I want to prevent as much of that as possible for you guys, and I want to give you everything in one go, okay? And the best way for me to do that is to hold a webinar that a few of you can attend at the same time. So now is the time to get on the list for that webinar. Just pop in your name and your email down below and you will be on the list, okay? And in the meantime, before the webinar airs, I'm going to be sharing with you a few tips of my own on how to live more abundantly, even while you still have chronic fatigue. Thank you so much for your time today. I have so much information I want to share with you. I know that this can be a real turning point in your life with chronic fatigue. This is Kristen, and I want you to remember that you can design a life of wild abundance that you love, even while living with chronic fatigue. All right? So get on that list. Name, email down below. Watch my webinar. Put your email down below. Where do I want to go next with that? I know, and then I forget. Let's do this.